Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody from wherever you are in the world. Welcome to episode 18 of Monorail Memoirs. This week we'll be talking Disney food part 2. As you can see, we have a collection of individuals with us again today. You have me as your host, Cameron. You have Lauren, who's wearing a Stitch t-shirt today, I see. Excellent, happy days. And then, of course, you have my lovely wife, Tash, who's wearing an Aulani t-shirt because it's Lauren's favourite topic. Happy days. I'm sporting a Buccaneers shirt because this video is going up on the 7th, the opening day of the Buccaneers season, playing against the Falcons, go Bucks, and Baker Mayfield more generally. But apart from that, Lauren, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. I've been for a 12.5-mile run today, which was fantastic.
Oh, very good, very good. Tash, how are you? I know you're in the basement of my house, but how are you?
I'm good. I have not been for a 12.5-mile run. I've been for a lion and a cheese board.
Cheese board is the way forward. Happy days. I do wish to address some really important Disney news that came out last week now. The really important news is the Carousel of Progress is getting an update. This is huge and important news. We don't know the details yet, but we know that John and Sarah and the family are still going to be part of the main effort. But it was mentioned about it being introduced by Walt himself. Don't know how that's going to work. Don't know if it's going to be animatronic. Don't know if it's going to be just audio. We've no idea. But the good news here is that the best attraction in Walt Disney World is getting it's not even a needed update, it's just an update nevertheless. So we are huge fans, and Lauren is particularly excited about this, I can tell.
It's getting a much needed update, may I add.
I've no idea what you're on about, and nothing to do with the fact the final scene talks about, back in the day, we didn't even have a car phone. Oh, God, yeah. But nevertheless, we'll move on to the specifics of what we're talking about here. So you might remember last time we did the food episode, we talked about food in the Disney parks themselves. Now we're going to pivot and talk about the resorts, some about our favourite eateries. And, of course, it's going to be led by Tash as our resident food expert. So with that in mind, then, Tash, where are we going to start today?
We're going to go to your favourite resort, and we're going to start at the Grand Floridian.
Of course, we'll start the Grand Floridian. It's not just my favourite resort, it is the best resort, and we can absolutely have that debate with anyone. I know you'll say something different, but I'm right. So this is the Grand Floridian. This is by far our favourite resort. And in terms of eateries, we're going to start at Citrico's Day. So take us away. What can we expect at Citrico's then?
So Citrico's it's quite upscale, but you can't really afford Victoria and Albert's, which will set you back $1,000, which you still owe me to go to. But yeah, Citrico's is kind of modern cuisine, quite a bit of seafood on the menu. For an entree, you're looking at sort of $40 to $50. So for a family, it's going to set you back a good amount, just not as much as Victoria and Albert's.
True. Victoria and Albert's, of course, for those that don't know, is the flagship dining reservation at the Walt Disney World Resort. It's downstairs in the Grand Floridian, and it will set you back $1,000 for two people. Quite easily.
It's also the only Michelin star restaurant on Disney property.
It is, and it only got that Michelin star a couple of years ago, because prior to that, it wasn't even Michelin starred. Now, worth pointing out, in America, the Michelin star system is a lot younger than it is in the UK and Europe, so that might have contributed to it slightly. But the price point is very much Michelin star standard.
Yeah, and obviously we haven't eaten there yet, and it is on our to-do list. But I will say, even by Michelin star standards, that is very expensive.
It is, absolutely. But Citrico's, however, what we're talking about here is the price. We got distracted there by the fact that I haven't fulfilled the promise. Brilliant. Just put that out on YouTube. But yeah, so Citrico's is far more reasonably priced. Although it now has this bar area that you can sort of see to the left of your screen there, where you can get some lighter bites. It's available more around the clock. But the cocktails here, let's be really clear. The cocktails expect to pay gusting $30, sometimes $35, $38. You've got to be aware of that. And of course, that's not on top of the tax. Then the service charge, it can set you back pretty quickly. But Citrico's is a good location. We've not been there in a couple of years.
If you're going for cocktails as well, I wouldn't go to Citrico's just for cocktails. If you're in the Grand Floridian and you want to just go for cocktails, you're better off going to the bar area, which is where the band used to be, which is a whole nother thing. But
yeah, absolutely.
If you're just looking for cocktails and light bites, I would argue that's actually a better option than Citrico's anyway.
I completely agree with that. Although it's very popular. It's Beauty and the Beast themed is the bar that Tash referred to. It's very popular. Not sure what Beauty and the Beast has got to do with the Grand Floridian. France versus sort of the turn of the century America. I'm not really sure, but we'll bypass that nevertheless. So we'll move on though to what I think is your favourite dining experience at the Grand Floridian.
Mm-hmm.
What are we looking at?
So this is 1900 Park Fare, which is a character dining experience. But it's also a buffet kind of all-you-can-eat experience. So this will be $58 an adult and $37 for a child. And it is buffet-style dining, like all-you-can-eat, kind of go up, fill your plate. And then you meet 4 characters who all have wishes, and they come around and help you fulfill your wishes.
Indeed, and mine have been fulfilled, of course, because you were there with me. Yay! So let's be really clear though. This is character dining where they come around and ask you questions. Lauren, you've done character dining experiences before, especially with children. Like, how well do they go down?
Yeah, so I think that they are good, but they're just very big and bustling environments. So if you're somebody who is kind of sensitive to the more sensory needs, like bright lights and lots of people moving around all the time, might not be the best thing for you. But I think for the children, it's a fantastic way to guarantee to see some key characters.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And actually, I'm not a character dining sort of chap, and last time we went to Disney, it was just Tash and I. So I happen to know that Tash felt very uncomfortable with having, Aladdin come round and asking, what's your wish and what have you. I think her wish was to be left alone to have dinner. But the food options are pretty good. But what I will say is the food options were no different than any other buffet you would get at a Disney resort or in one of the Disney parks. And so you're paying this premium charge, partly because it's the Grand Floridian, partly because it is a slightly more intimate setting than the Crystal Palace, for example. But it is still an expensive endeavor.
The one kind of flagship dish they have here is Tiana's gumbo. Tiana's one of the characters you can meet, as you can see her actually in that photo. And Tiana's gumbo is kind of the only unique dish that you can get here that you can't get elsewhere.
It's fair, but I mean, it wasn't cheap. I know you listed the prices, but by the time we paid for them, got drinks and added a tip, it was what, $160, $170.
Yeah.
That's for 2 people. By the time you get a family, and on the assumption that 2 of those are children, you're looking near the $300 mark. That's a lot of money for what is a buffet. But we can move away from the best resort now to the second best resort.
To the best resort.
Second best resort. I'm the one controlling the PowerPoint slides. The second best resort, which is the Animal Kingdom Lodge. So where are we eating in the Animal Kingdom Lodge, Tash?
So we're going to Boma Flavors of Africa because it is quite comparable actually to 1900 Parks Fare. So this is another buffet style dining. Adults, it's the same price. It's $58 an adult still. And the food here compared to 1900 Park Fare, when you're paying the same price, it's not character dining. If food is your thing, you've got to eat here, not 1900 Park Fare.
Absolutely. And before coming on to the recording, Lauren, what did you say about Boma?
Yeah, that's somewhere that I really, really want to try. 100%.
Absolutely. When you walk in, and so the view that I'm going to give you next is sort of the seating area. So the seating area is kind of boring, if I'm honest. But if you were to walk towards the camera, on the right hand side of all of the buffet line is you've got all of your meats, and you've got ribs, you've got chicken, it's just a fantastic selection of meats. Before you move through to the carbohydrates, and then on the far side the sweet and savoury options. I walked away from this establishment with a new notch on my belt because I think
it's fair to say we rolled away from this establishment.
We rolled away. You do have to go up a flight of stairs, but we rolled up the flight of stairs away from this establishment. It was the same price as Park Fare, as Tash mentioned. No characters on this one. It's not a character dining experience, but I preferred this every day of the week. I thought this was fantastic. So, I think it has a 4.9 star rating on Google. Does this? I highly recommended. Boma Flavors of Africa if you're in Animal Kingdom Lodge. Possibly the best buffet on Disney property.
I do think that I've never eaten at Boma, but I do think that and 1900 Park Fare, if you merge them both together, it's kind of like Tusker House because you get the characters and the African dining.
That's fair.
So I don't know if you're like, oh, I really want to do both. I want to get the characters, but I also want to have this really nice food experience. Maybe try Tusker House and Animal Kingdom. It sounds quite similar. No,
happy days. Completely agreed. So, right, Tash, we're moving on. This time we're looking at the Riviera, which is where we own DVC. And specifically, we're going to Topolino's Terrace. Take it away.
So I would compare this in a similar kind of ballpark to Citrico's, kind of in terms of food kind of level and in terms of kind of formality and things like that. So again, it's like $40 to $60 for an entree. I think this is nicer than Citrico's, the food experience. This is quite French themed, with it being kind of Riviera and everything. But I think the food here is also complemented by where it is. So this is on the top floor of the Riviera, which gives you really great views of the fireworks if you time it right.
Absolutely, and we'll come on to those fireworks, and actually I think the Riviera as a resort is quite nice. We believe it or not, despite being DVC members there, we've not stayed there yet, but we will do at some point, I'm sure. And for those that don't know, Riviera is pretty close to selling out all of its original DVC points that it has to offer. It's sitting above 90% now. And we'll when we do a DVC show, we'll discuss that a little bit more in detail as to what that really means. This is photos that we took last time we were there. So this was the drink that you had. Tash,
yeah, this is a non-alcoholic cocktail actually. And so I judge places based on their non-alcoholic like options at the moment. And so this was it was kind of like it was styled like a gin cocktail, but obviously without the gin. It's sort of grapefruit and citrusy, and it's really
yes, and I had a beer because as is becoming a theme on this show, that's basically all I do with my time. This was the main course, which I'll be honest I was slightly disappointed with, especially at the price point.
Yeah, I mean, our bill for the two of us came to $207 for the night. We didn't have a starter either, which is unusual for us. And so, yeah, it is expensive, but I think the location.
I really wasn't taken away by it. I mean, I get you saying about the location, but the price doesn't change when the fireworks are on. It's the same product. And so I was a little bit disappointed with this, but the dessert did look very good.
The desserts were really good, yes.
Wow.
You have here obviously a Tangled themed dessert, and what you can see is me sort of leaning backwards in the background, probably having eaten too much already. But Tash, you mentioned the fireworks. Yeah, the fireworks is the main effort here because we timed it so that we were able to see the Epcot fireworks. Now, you can move out onto a terrace area, look out and see that. Now, let's be really clear here. You can only see the fireworks element of the show. And yes, they pipe the audio in, but because of where the rest of the Riviera is, you can't see the show. You can see the fireworks of the show, which is why after about 10 minutes, we went back inside because it got very busy, very bustling, and I wasn't that bothered. But this is seen as an appeal. And actually during the daytime, for those that come in for breakfast, for example, some of the views you can get out on that are pretty impressive. Enough about the Riviera, though. There are a couple more resorts that we need to talk about. So, Tash, where are we moving through next?
We're going on a bit of a diversion to Wilderness Lodge.
We are. Now, Wilderness Lodge, we've only ever actually been once, and I was really impressed with the Wilderness Lodge. I do certainly think it's somewhere on the to-do list. But the restaurant that we ate at, well, how would you describe the experience?
An experience.
So
in a good sense, to clarify.
Yeah, what was the name of this restaurant again?
So this is Whispering Canyon Cafe.
Yeah, and the way that this works is that the service staff are sort of playing characters. And I don't mean Disney characters. I mean there's very very loud, a lot of banging, and it's all part of the experience. Now, if I'm honest, the idea of like a themed thing like this is not my style at all. But the food that they bring out are in skillets, and they will keep refilling the skillets when you finish them. So it isn't all you can eat or all you care to enjoy, as they're now calling them, to try and stop people from like thinking about having to eat more. It's all you care to enjoy, and they just keep bringing it. Some really good quality brisket here, some really good quality meats. I was less bothered about the rest of the ancillaries as usual. But Tash, what did you think about this strange dining experience?
I really enjoyed it. Like character dining makes me quite anxious because I'm like trying to eat, and you know when like they come over and your mouth's full and you're like, I don't want to talk, I'm trying to eat. But this was kind of like a character dining light in the sense that the wait staff were in character, but they weren't characters. So it's almost like it's kind of a mining kind of. They're all kind of a bit wild. They've all got like nicknames and things on their badges, and they kind of throw your food down. And then there was a competition. I can't remember what it was, but all the kids kind of did this competition around the restaurant.
Yes, they did, didn't they? They did.
And everything kind of stops, and it is quite loud and bustling, but it's
Mm.
equally not. To me, it wasn't as intimidating as character dining.
It's not somewhere you'd want to go for a relaxing experience.
No, but the food was banging. And I think these skillets were $43 each. We got 2 different skillets as well, so we kind of mix and matched a bit. Which, when you think of kind of, obviously it's not buffet, it's not like an unlimited selection of food, but there was plenty of food, and you could just be like, I just want another plate of brisket, or I just want another plate of mashed potato and things like that. So you didn't have to just get the whole thing over and over again.
Absolutely.
And be kind of wasteful with it.
I think this would be a good place to bring children as well. There is a cheaper price point than the character dining, but you get a lot from it as well. Although Wilderness Lodge is slightly out of the way, so you have to deliberately go there. Lauren, you can disappear for 5 minutes if you want, because now we're going to talk about Aulani.
This
Tash,
best
take it
dining
away.
experience. This is the best Disney dining experience we've ever had, and it was cripplingly expensive, but it was honestly incredible.
So Ama is the flagship restaurant at Aulani. Now, of course, Aulani, you're on the west coast of Hawaii. There's not really much for you to go and do outside of just enjoy your time there. Ama is a great restaurant, and so this is some of the food that we had. So this was, I don't even know what this was, Tash. What was this?
I think this was your starter.
Excellent.
I think
Can't even remember what it was.
It was a terrine of some kind.
Some sort of terrine, and then
I had scallops as the main.
Absolutely. I mean, this is proper fine dining. This was my meatery, and I was massively impressed by the quality of the service, how the staff were, and also that dessert is outrageous. It was lovely. But the point is, I appreciate most of the people watch this for Walt Disney World content. If you ever get to Aulani in Hawaii, however, Ama is I'm going to go and say is probably the best food on this list.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a 4-course prefix A, so you get 4 courses, $130. But also the location within Aulani is incredible. So it's at the back of the resort. It opens out onto the beach, and then there's like waterfalls onto the beach, and yeah, it's just worth it. It's worth going to Aulani just for Ama.
Absolutely. Lauren, we know you're not big on the food side. Have you eaten at any of the Disney resorts before?
I don't actually think I have. Obviously, other than just the general quick service stuff, I don't actually have any experience of the restaurants.
We will try to change that for our visit in April of next year. But folks, that's going to be it for episode 18. Thank you very much to Tash for joining us as a resident food expert. Lauren, of course, will now do the pointy thing where she goes to the ticker. Feel free to follow us.
I have noticed your cheeky little thing that you've done.
Not even about. Feel free to follow us at Monorail Memoirs. Any thoughts, comments, queries, email us monoralmemoirs@gmail.com. Feel free to drop comments in the YouTube as well. And as Lauren may or may not have alluded to, also, doesn't Lauren have a big head? On that, folks, thank you very much. As always, go Bucks. We'll see you next time. And as a reminder, please stand clear of the doors. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.